So, Anthony, we made it. Episode 1 of Breaktime Brews. After months of scouting the best podcast equipment and sussing out this rather delicious breakout area for our brew, we're here. We're ready to talk about office coffee. Would you care to introduce yourself and tell our lovely audience what you do at FreshGround?
Of course. Well, I'm Anthony. I'm the marketing manager here at FreshGround, and I kind of keep the wheels rolling, I guess. Produce our lovely website and all the content that goes on it with the help of the team, of course.
Thank you.
That's sort of me in a nutshell.
Yeah. And favourite coffee?
I'll go for a black Americano.
Black
Keep
Americano.
it nice and simple. Just keeps going through the day.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ollie, the host of Breaktime Brews. Relatively new to FreshGround in my second month here, and already relishing what a proper office coffee environment is. And that's why we're here. We're here to talk about office coffee and why office coffee is important. So, Anthony, I'd love to ask you about your past and present experiences with office coffee, good and bad, and yeah.
Yeah, sure. I guess I've sort of seen a bit of everything. Started with an office kettle. That was fun, waiting about 12 minutes for that to boil and do everyone else. And then also the office coffee machines. I've had bad ones of those as well. I think my favourite one dispensed something called Beefy Drink. Just a nice salty Bovril treat.
Oh, wow, you had Bovril from your...
Or Beefy Drink. I'm not sure it was actually Bovril,
yeah.
But Beefy Drink was the official name. That's what it said on the button. But yeah, now here at FreshGround, enjoy the bean to cup machines we have, and as you alluded to, you can get lots of nice different coffees out of that. So yeah, it's a good way to start the day, definitely.
That's really interesting, and just the difference it can make to the energy in your working day. I know that in my first office role, we had a horrible tasting instant coffee that made everyone run to the bathroom.
Oh, nice.
And office kettle queues that ran out the door, and it just wasn't a seamless process. Here, I clock in, I go straight to our F5 Egro Next, and I press the button for cappuccino, and I'm a very happy bunny starting my day that way. So yeah, it really makes a difference just having that one touch option, I think. Where do you land on this? What do you think the benefits of having a proper commercial premium coffee machine are?
I think it makes everything easier, doesn't it? You're not queuing for a drink, it's just pressing a button and the machine does it all for you. And they're so clever now. I mean, before I started here, I didn't realise just how technical a coffee machine could get. And so now you press a button and you have a barista-style quality drink dispensed for you, and you're done in sort of 20, 30 seconds.
Yeah, it feels like it's got more inclusive as well with the dual milk options, hot chocolate catering to vegans, oat milk.
Absolutely, yeah.
I felt personally that something like an oat milk latte or a mocha would be a bit of a high street luxury, but these machines, it very much brings that in. And I haven't left the office yet to go get a coffee. I know that in my first role, I would leave 2 or 3 times a week at least to go buy a coffee. And that takes, I was reading on average 16 minutes out of your working day. It does add up, and it's also expensive. So having, as a business owner, I believe just providing it, having that free quality coffee, is super important.
Definitely, keeps bums on seats. What the end of the day.
And so, what are your predictions for this year, 2024, with office coffee? Where do you think it can go? I know I've been reading a lot about return to office being a big workplace trend for this year, which you can read on our blog. And so what are your thoughts about how the year is going to pan out with office coffee, and also what facilities managers, procurement managers are going to be pinpointing?
I think just more of the same. I think coffee doesn't really move at light speed as an industry. It's quite a steady and reliable industry in terms of what it delivers for people. But yeah, I think people, they're constantly looking to upgrade their equipment, update their equipment. Not everyone's moved on from a kettle yet. So I think it's just, bringing that coffee experience to more offices. I think it's just slowly expanding and delivering that great coffee experience to more people in their workplace, especially after sort of working from home for so long, and as you say, the drive to get people back into the office. I think it's a good hook just to encourage people. It's not just your desk and your computer waiting for you here. We've got some treats as well.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, Ant, because I know there's been a bit of a tug of war since the pandemic on getting your team back into the office full time, without mandates, having those enticing workplace incentives that do the work for you and kind of make it a happy environment. Having that, to what extent do you think having that coffee machine and that quality coffee can build a culture that people were really excited to come back to, rather than just perhaps ticking in attendance box like you did at school?
Well, there's was the water cooler moment, kind of became the kettle moment, and now I sort of think we're moving towards the coffee machine moment. It's just, a great way to catch up with impromptu meetings. I'm not one for meetings, really, not at all, but 5-minute chat by the coffee machine can do just as much good as a 20-minute sit down in an uncomfortable office room with the aircon blaring and everyone's trained to read a presentation. So.
Yeah, I find that particularly since I've started having that office coffee culture has been really valuable for me. And like you say, having a quick chat by the coffee machine, I often find that having those creative ideas really flow in that setting.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And even so much handing a coffee without within our marketing desk, bringing it to meetings, especially as a new starter, kind of introducing yourself. Oh, can I get your coffee? What's your name? What do you do here? And that's something particularly working remotely the last couple of years hasn't quite had that face-to-face engagement, and I think coffee can be a big factor in bringing that back, especially in 2024. Yeah,
2024. Exciting year.
And to close, I'd love to ask you your favourite coffees. I know Black Americano is a big fan of yours.
Big fan of mine.
But I'm also conscious of our Winter Drinks series, and for the listeners, hoping to try something a little different. Can you recommend a favourite? I'm a gingerbread latte fan. I know that was a big hit on our Wondrous Winter specials, but yeah, I'd love to know where you land on this.
I quite like a cold coffee. So fill a glass of ice cubes even. Glass of ice cubes, dispense a double espresso over the top of that, top it with milk, and then add a syrup or something, and just a nice cold drink that still gives you that caffeine buzz, but just a bit different as well. It's stuff that I wouldn't think to prepare at home or in the office for that matter. So yeah, it's just something a bit different to bring back to your desk. That's my recommendation. It's
also quite refreshing in being able to make those recipes from an office coffee machine and hand to your favourite colleagues as well.
Well, yeah, it's a lot more simple than I thought it would be. Like I said, a lot of the time you just need, access to ice. Not everyone has it, but you can buy it in a bag, keep it in a freezer, top of a fridge, and makes these things a bit more accessible.
So, thank you for listening. This has been episode 1 of Breaktime Brews. We're super excited to see where office coffee and office coffee culture goes this year in 2024. So yeah, do come back to us as your source of all things tasty coffee and workplace culture. And thank you for watching.